Bismillah. Shaykh Ahmadu Bamba starts off this chapter in verse 80 saying that according to the masters, religious knowledge is divided into two sorts. Ilm al-Zahir wa Ilm al-Batin. Exoteric knowledge and esoteric knowledge. So the first one, exoteric knowledge, is practically applying principles in your everyday life, such as the 5 salats, dealing with charity, your all the different things that are termed uh, daily worship, or the 5 pillars of Islam, as you will. And this is considered fiqh, which is Islamic jurisprudence, or the things that are recommended by Islamic law. And these are compulsory degrees of worship and compulsory ways that a person should apply themselves. And what it does is structures a person's character. Now, Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba says that it behooves any believer to try to comply first with the rules of fiqh prior to practicing tasawwuf. So this is very important because a foundation must always be laid. When you build a building, you never start with the roof first and then look to build the rest. So the foundation deals with having a knowledge of the science of Islam. And this knowledge is through application, through the making of the salat, the giving of zakat, the charity, and things of this nature. Because what it does is it affects the being in a certain way where when you take, if you just look at the hours in the day, the 24 hours approximate, if you take small portions out of that day, salat takes about 4 minutes, depending on which one it is. So for 4 minutes a day, you withdraw and you make miraj, which you ascend to the higher degrees of yourself, and you recite Surat al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladhina an'amta 'alayhim, ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praises be to Allah, Lord of all the worlds, most gracious, most merciful. You do we worship, and your aid do we seek. Guide us on the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, not the way of those whose portion is wrath and who go not astray. So be it. Just 4 minutes a day, in considering the wealth of knowledge that exists within there, for you to actually acknowledging your higher self and acknowledging the essence of your own being, and making the intention to be guided in right speech and right action and right conduct, in the right mental state. 4 minutes a day. This is basically a way to balance out even 4 minutes of meditation, silent meditation a day, 5 times a day, will have numerous health benefits, numerous benefits all across the board. So what this does is it builds character. It builds character. It gives you a chance to withdraw from the hustle and bustle of the dunya, of the world, as well as it will grant you a solitude that you actively achieve by applying a solemn practice. So the exoteric knowledge is very important because you're applying it. It's not passive. It's active tarbiyah, or active education of the soul. And this is why it's so important to do. And before you journey off and get deeper into the realm of mysticism or tasawwuf, the higher spiritual practices, a foundation must be laid. The character must be purified, and the character must be exalted to its essential nature. And the way to do that are the basic practices of Islam, these basic sciences, even the importance of Salat Witr, as it says in Surah 89, Suratul Fajr, Wal Fajr, Walayalin Ashr, Wa Shafri Wal Watr, by the even and the odd. So witr is the salat that you make before you go to sleep at night. Usually people would, oftentimes it's great to stay up to the third part of the night, but sometimes you can't do that. But if you know that you're going to go to sleep, go to rest, then you make witr, which can be one rakat, 2 prostrations and salamming out, or it can be you doing 2 and then salamming out and doing a third one to make it odd. Anytime that there's odd, it's called witr. But when in the third part of the night and making witr, this is like the most tranquil part of the night, and usually around about 3 a.m. This is when people are into rapid eye movement, sleep, REM sleep, and you're dreaming. So the mind at that point is it's like a still lake. You see the lake here. So you imagine water that's just still, and you drop a pebble, it will ripple off because of the pebble that you dropped into it. So doing witr is the same thing. It's like dropping a pebble into the water that causes ripples, because your body is in a state of solitude. Everyone is asleep for the most part, and the mind is very receptive. So when you make dua, and you make your intention, and you recite these different words and invocations, and then it's basically a science of thought projection, projecting what you want to manifest before time. And all of that is the pebble. The water is the ethers. So this is, the thought realm. And so these practices are very important because they build character. Now, when you journey into tasawwuf, things like I've said prior to this on witr, it's taken to higher and higher and higher realms of that. But you want to first build the foundation, because without a foundation, you don't have anything to stand on. So one more point that I'm going to finish off on is verse 89. Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba says, "But as regards who that succeeds in combining both them, fiqh and tasawwuf, that is a fine model of balance thou hast to pattern thyself upon." So it's not just about physical applications, but it's also about the mental knowledge and spiritual practices. And combining both, what you in essence do is you combine heaven and earth. Thoughts of the mind affect the body. As it is in heaven, it is on earth. As it is within, it is without. So the greatest benefit will coming to combining both fiqh and tasawwuf. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh wa maghfirah.